Really much in the summer of the Spurs, but they have changed the way they played the game a bit.
Absolutely. At least offensively, Tom, instead of kind of going down to Duncan so much inside, look at his career numbers right there. For his career, 21 a game. This year, under 14 points. Rebounds are down, minutes are down. They're trying to save his legs. There's a lot of mileage, Tom, on that body.
Yeah.
So they're trying to fast break a little bit more, pick up the pace, and not rely so much, at least offensively, on the big guy.
Well, the 11-game winning streak, we've seen things that not so much attention paid to Tim Duncan, not playing as many minutes, but still a big part of the team.
Oh, absolutely. He's still the focal point, but let's remember that Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, when you really look at this San Antonio roster, they're built to run. And they want to fast break. They want to score quickly. And, of course, when that game slows down, they got the big Tim Duncan inside to go to as well.
It will be interesting tonight. The Timberwolves have not managed to win against Tim Duncan's crew in nearly 4 years. How can the Wolves game plan?
Well, Tom, you know, look at this game plan here tonight against the Spurs. I think one thing here for Minnesota is that front line production. Darko Milicic has been playing much better recently. Kevin Love been on an absolute tear. And Michael Beasley, those three first frontline guys here for the Timberwolves, playing well. Also tonight for the Timberwolves, they got to defend that three ball. San Antonio Spurs are one of the best teams in this league at moving the ball, finding the open shooter, and then these guys can stick it. Now for San Antonio on the other end of the ball, they want to run. They're starting to transition a lot more now. Tim Duncan with the fast break layup there. Tony Parker leads the charge, of course. He's perfect at getting into the paint, kicking it out in transition. And also that bench production here for San Antonio. Guys like Hill, Bonner, McDyess, they come off, make shots, and that's a pretty big weapon here for San Antonio, Tom. I tell you what, he's been terrific. His offense is really starting to come around, Tom. Watch this little shot fake. The ball goes above his forehead. That makes McDyess, he has to honor that fake. That allows Love to get into the lane. Now the little kick out shot. Now he's proven that he can knock down outside shots too. So that's how you set up those drives, Tom. You can make outside shots. The defender gets closer to you. And then if you decide to pump fake, then you can have the space to go around somebody. And Kevin Love, he's not going to outquick a lot of players, but if you really utilize that shot fake well and sell it, you can open up other options more than just the jump shot.
As much respect as Kevin.
Well, I tell you what, Beasley anticipated Jefferson coming to the other side. Watch this. He had really his only option. He was going too fast. He couldn't go up on the first part of the basket. He had to go underneath with the reverse, and Beasley sniffed it out. And that was a lot of basketball, Tom.
You love his aggressiveness. And to see him play so hard. George Hill out of bounds. Timberwolves basketball.
It's a part of Tim Duncan's game, Tom, that I don't think a lot of people really realize how good of a passer he is. I mean, he'll get the ball and they'll post him up, not always in that low block. He's almost a better passer when he posts up in that mid block or that high post. He gives the cutters the space to find an opening, and he's unselfish.
Telfair picks up his second.
On that play, Tom, Ginobili it seems like he just consistently, if he looks to penetrate, he'll get in that lane. And some people wonder, well, how can he do it? First of all, this guy's an incredible athlete. You don't realize how quick that first step, the jumping ability, and I think secondly, Ginobili is so unorthodox. Those lefties are always, a lot of lefties are really left-handed, but he's got that kind of funky, jerky kind of game, which allows him to get into the lane, whether it's for a shot or to create something for somebody else. So he's a tough guard.
And Ginobili could hit out the shot again.
Well, kind of surveying, and looked like that double team might come over, and just popped out of his hand a little bit too strong. I like the fact that he's going to that sky hook a little bit, Tom. That kind of takes away the timing of the defender.
By West.
Smart play too by Johnson. Entered the basketball into Milicic in the low block, and then he moved, he didn't stand.
Ginobili stripped the basketball underneath.
The easiest player to guard is the player that doesn't move. Enters the ball into the post. Jefferson's attention gets to Milicic, and then Johnson slides down into that corner. That's a tough shot right there for the rookie.
Ewing. Well, what do the Timberwolves need to do the rest of the way?
Well, they got to execute, Tom, and get good shots. Get the ball inside to Darko. If he has an opportunity to make one of his post moves, put him on that low right block, which he's really starting to feel comfortable at. Now if that double team comes or Duncan plays good position defense, he kicks it out, then you repost and go back to him.
Dealing with the defensive Duncan. Darko fades, fires, and hits. Darko Milicic has come of age.
That's an impossible shot to even contest. At a guy 7'1", Tom, into the middle, then the fadeaway jump shot.
With pressure, Ginobili takes it all the way inside. And Kurt Rambis is livid.
Yeah, I think he's frustrated now with Corey Brewer. Corey should not have tried to pick Ginobili when the ball got poked free. And I think he's frustrated right now that Corey went for that steal instead of just playing good position defense. Now, Corey Brewer's behind the play and Ginobili runs free.
Darko Milicic 1 point shy of that. Defensively, what do the Wolves need to do?
Well, they're going to go to Parker and they're going to go to Ginobili and try to create some action with those two penetrators. And that's a lot of their game, Tom, is if they can get into the lane and get a shot, they're going to take it at the rim. If not, that's why they're so dangerous. They'll penetrate, kick it out to one of their shooters. And this guy has been deadly here in the second half. And only Ginobili's starting to feel it, so you got to be careful. If you leave him, he will make you pay.
Ties things up, so now the Timberwolves with the basketball in their hands. 16.2 seconds left. Where will Kurt Rambis turn?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he does something in a high screen and roll or on the wing even, and then try to get the ball inside to Darko. If he gets a shot to take, I think you take it. And the most important thing, Tom, is don't take the shot too quickly. You got to take that shot with maybe 4 or 5 seconds to go. You just don't want San Antonio to get a shot to win this ball game. So work that shot clock down. Try to get it inside to Darko. If you can't get that, just make sure that shot is taken so you have a chance to get a tip, but you don't give the Spurs a chance to get the ball back.
The other question, and it's just been
point night in San Antonio. So these are role players filling their roles.
That's what we're talking about here. And the one guy I'm really happy for is Martell Webster. And I think this is the healthiest we've seen him play in the last season and a half. I think he's finally getting to the point where he can really contribute to this team offensively on that wing. This team desperately needs somebody. Wayne Ellington, I think he wants to stay in this rotation and shoot the ball, and this team needs some shooting. And then the guards, you know, Barea, I don't think has played quite as well as he did, say, the first half of the season, but he's dealt with a lot of injuries. And of course, Luke Ridnour, you know, for the most part, has really played well for the Wolves. He shot the ball pretty well, and of course, he's distributing the basketball. And with Rubio out, that's the part that this team needs the most out of him.
And you know, these injuries
way up over 50 against Oklahoma City.
Truly amazing in how he's doing. He's scoring in so many different ways with the three, with the post-up game, the mid-range jump shot in transition. You know, I think, Anthony, the thing that really has impressed me the most and the one thing that his team needs the most out of him is how well he has started games shooting the basketball, considering that's been a big issue for this team, starting so slowly. So take, for example, Friday night at Oklahoma City. End of a long road trip. Everybody's tired. The Wolves got down 4-0 right away in that game in the first quarter. It's almost like something irritated Kevin Love. In a matter of about 5 minutes, he bangs in 3 deep threes, and the Wolves' offense just takes off. And that's been so impressive. He makes these shots and inspires his teammates to perform at a high level, and that's what great players do. They inspire their teammates to raise their game, and that's what he's done.
Now he's building off of 81 points in consecutive. A 101-98 win in L.A. against the Clippers. Kevin, how about that play at the buzzer for Minnesota?
Terrific call. I tell you what, they really exposed the defense of DeAndre Jordan. Watch, we're going to shade Derek Williams. He's going to circle around this pick. And DeAndre Jordan, who's guarding Love, is going to help at the rim, or at least lean that direction. That allows that double pick to happen for Kevin Love. He is wide open. I tell you what, folks, that is a difficult shot for a power forward, 25 feet away from the basket, to be going backwards, catch, and pivot towards the basket. He drilled it. That was a big-time shot there for Kevin Love. Like I said, a 25-footer to win the ball game for Minnesota.
Kevin Love has been the game a bit later in the show. We'll also hear from Rick Adelman, get his thoughts on what went wrong against the Magic tonight. Orlando had success from outside the arc, 12 for 30 on threes. But the reason they get so many good looks from outside the arc is because Dwight Howard draws attention inside. And tonight, Minnesota statistically slowed him down in the middle.
Yeah, only 11 points here for Howard. And I thought, for the most part, Minnesota did a good job of keeping him away from the basket, because once he backs in there, he's so big and strong and athletic, he'll just turn around and dunk on you. But Darko Milicic really struggled trying to guard this guy. His former teammate, watch it right here. He's backing in, Darko's not strong enough to keep him at that distance. He continues to get closer, and Darko's got to go to the bench. He gets 3 fouls in less than 4 minutes. Now let's look at Pekovic guarding, who is strong enough to stay with Dwight Howard, holds his ground, doesn't allow Howard, Anthony, to get even closer to the basket, does a nice job using that lower body strength to keep the big guy away from the basket. Same situation here just a minute later. Holds his ground right there, forces Howard to take a little jump hook or a jump shot, and just he's strong enough to keep Howard away from the basket. And I tell you what, that's really important, because had Darko stayed out there, he would have fouled out and had 6 fouls in a matter of a couple more minutes. But Peck has got that strong lower body, that big, tough upper body, and once he kind of plants his feet, he's big and strong enough to keep Howard away from the basket. And he really did a nice job. And look at the stats right now. He had better stats, 16 and 13 rebounds that Peck did, as opposed to 11 points and 7 rebounds for Dwight Howard.
And you mentioned the foul trouble. That's an interesting part of this. Milicic, 3 fouls in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Right. Howard was in foul trouble trying to deal with Pekovic at the other end of the court throughout the night. Arby's value. What can he do to improve his game after he misses a shot?
Oh, that's the big thing. That's the big issue I think a lot of fans have with Michael Beasley. He'll take a shot or a bad shot at times. He'll miss it, and then he just kind of saunters and doesn't hustle back down the floor, and that's what steams teammates, coaches, fans. He can't do that. He's got to watch Kevin Love a bit more and watch that guy's effort. Hey, you're going to miss some shots. That's the bottom line at times. Get down the floor. Don't make it worse by not hustling down the floor.
One of the more